Hey
Hi,
everybody. Oh,
whoops. You can go.
whoops. Hey everybody, it's Lynn.
And Liam.
And this is the Ins and Outs, which is the official name that we selected for our weekly web series, where we talk about an article that we each found and we unpack the sexual health topics inside of it and make jokes about it. And Liam eats lunch while we do it. It's just going to be a weekly fun adventure. So we hope you check in every week. This week we picked some really, I think, bizarre articles. And there is some crossover, in which I didn't realize until I was talking to my husband about it yesterday. But I'll go first. I'll talk about my article, and then Liam will go. And then we'll say goodbye, and then next week we'll be back.
I also just want to say thank you real quick to everybody who helped us out to figure out our name. We got tons of Facebook ideas for our names. The Ins and Out is one that we got off Facebook. So thank you guys for helping us out with that. I'm not very creative, so.
Yeah, I'm not clever enough, and I don't do good with puns on purpose.
Yeah.
But, okay, so my article this week is an article on womenshealthmagazine.com, and it is entitled, "This is how many calories you actually burn during sex, kissing, and foreplay." And I picked this article because when I was little, like a teenager, Liam, did you read articles like this when you were a teenager?
I didn't read much when I was a teenager, but I definitely thought about it. And me and my friends joked about it.
I would always read articles like this, and I believed them because I was like, okay, it's in the news, it must be true. You must burn 800 calories having sex, or whatever it said. And so then this came up, it was just posted like last week. And I thought, okay, let's talk about that. And I should start by saying that, like, burning calories and your body and all of this stuff is, your body's perfect. I would not personally recommend worrying about how many calories you're burning during sex, right? Because, like, you're probably having sex. In my head, you're probably not having sex as your form of exercise, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think about how many calories I burn when I am vacuuming, although I guess some people do, I don't know. Or like, hi, I'm gonna drink this water. I'm not gonna think about how many calories I'm burning because that's not the purpose of me drinking this water.
No.
And so I think it's absurd to even think about calories during sex.
Yeah, think about sex during sex.
Right, and it must be so distracting. Like, so one of the things in this article they included was like ways that you can like improve your workout during sex.
Yeah.
And they're just like, one of them, the funniest one to me is, so if you're performing oral sex on somebody, to like turn it into a crunch.
Yeah.
And so you're like engaging your core in like this, what's supposed to be like a sexual moment, and it's not sexual for you because you're doing a crunch. Mm-hmm. And like, what does your partner think if you're like doing sit-ups or like the equivalent of a sit-up? It just, the least sexual thing, and I would just die of, if I had a penis, I would lose my erection. Right?
I mean, I don't know, if it feels good, I'm sure the erection will stay. It kind of depends on like what it looks like.
Movement, I just can't even. The other one that I thought was funny is they say that, like, okay, so if you are on bottom, just laying there, you should grab your ankles and pull them closer to your body to like work out your quads.
Yep.
And or there's also one, like, if you're on top, you should curl your back like a yoga pose, the cat yoga pose.
Yeah, the cat curl.
Yeah. And it's just like, is the Halloween cat like pose very sexy? I don't know.
Back curled like this, sexy.
Yeah. Like you're tucking your neck down too. It's just like, maybe do that before or after, but I just don't understand the point. And then the other funny thing that I thought was how many calories they say you burn making out. Did you read this?
Yeah, and the muscles. They talk about 124 muscles in other parts of your body.
Yeah, like what muscles are we talking about here? I think it's like how they say that your ear has like the most bones, but they're like really tiny bones. And like, sure, my ear probably does have the most bones, but like, why? They're small. Why does it matter? Like, maybe there's a ton of muscles in your face, but so they say that you burn up to 26 calories per minute kissing in this article. I went for a walk yesterday. So like, you know, Liam, I run.
Yes.
26 calories is, it probably takes you like 4 minutes of like ferocious elliptical to burn that much. Like you're sweating. And to think that you burn that much a minute kissing is just like, it can't be true. So I linked through all the, like I went through to find the science, and it's all based on like, this article said it, and then this article cited this article, and none of it's based on real science.
Yep.
I also walked yesterday, and I timed how many calories I burned walking, and I burned 4 calories walking, and you're telling me that making out burns 8 times that, or 7 times that much? It's just like, come on, this can't be real.
Yeah, like how vigorously are people making out?
What are you doing? Are you like doing jumping jacks or something? Like, it's just absurd. The other one that I found so funny, so my husband does planks.
Yeah, the plank.
The plank, in the article, it says that being on top is like the equivalent of doing a plank. And like planks are really hard.
Yeah.
And there's no, like, I can do a plank for 30 seconds and it's just like the worst experience of my life. And there's no way that it is equivalent in any way.
Oh, yeah.
Like my husband's like sweating from his neck when he does a plank, and he's like making these noises. He drinks like a whole bottle of water. Like, it's so absurd. But it does make me think, like, do teenagers, like, what expectation, if this is in this is in Women's Health, but I used to read it in like Cosmo.
Yeah.
Like, what is the expectation of sex being like if you think you're like being that aerobic, right?
Yeah.
It's absurd.
And that was my major problem with a lot of this is like, especially like the positions they were talking about. I was like you're not planking when you're on top of somebody. Like, I don't even know how you like why you would do that. Like usually like I feel like you're straddling your partner. And the other ones, like I was like talking to Jay, like I don't even know how you could give someone a blowjob like crunched over. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like maybe like I don't have vaginal sex, so maybe I just don't get it. But like a stuff like the tabletop and the cat curl they talked about, I was like, how do you even like have sex that way?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like if you can have sex that way, it is not based on pleasure, right?
No.
It's like, and maybe people do have sex for physical exercise, but I don't think that's super common.
No.
And they could talk about other things, right? Like, oh, there are health benefits to having sex, you know, endorphins and you get your heart rate up or whatever. But to like make it about like burning calories and like, oh, does even sex have to be about like fixing your imperfect body to society? Yeah. It just sucks. And I couldn't even. I like LOL'd at the giving of doing crunches during giving BJs. I can't even imagine why or like flexing your freaking quads. Like, why would you think about that?
Yeah, like I don't want to work that hard on having sex. Like I just want to have fun, enjoyable, pleasurable sex, not like,
right.
Oh, get those abs engaged, gotta start sweating. Hey, like I don't want to sweat during sex either. Like, well,
there's already enough fluid.
Yeah.
You don't need, or like it's, oh God, it's just bizarre. I couldn't even, and this is like 2020. This is still happening. This happened when I was 13. So in 2020 or 2004, it's still happening now. It's just, I can't even believe it.
Yeah. One thing I did like about the article is they're like, for one of the stats, they were like, this is based off of having sex for like 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, like foreplay, everything, 25 minutes. And then they jump down and they say, most people have sex for 6 minutes. And I was like, wow, that's like, is that like just penetrative 6 minutes of sex? I can see that maybe. But like foreplay, making out, and sex in 6 minutes, that's like
6 minutes.
a rush through.
I also thought it was funny that they based the calorie burn for a hand job based on an hour-long hand job.
Yeah,
who
does that?
You burn 100 calories if you give a 1 hour-long hand job. That seems like, well, first off, you should burn more because that would be really sore on your wrist, right?
Oh, yeah.
that's a workout. I can acknowledge that. But that is probably 5 times too long.
I think a hand job's probably like the most workout out of any of the things they mentioned. Like I've given hand jobs,
yeah.
they are hard.
Yeah, that is, I mean, your wrist starts to hurt.
Yeah, like after just like 5-10 minutes, like an hour, oh my God.
Yeah, plus you'd have some serious chafing on your penis.
Yeah, I mean, unless like you gotta use some lubrication or like some sort of thing. That's like like the shake weight, right? Like the shake weight was a big thing for a while, and like that was a real workout.
Yeah, but still no hour-long hand jobs. Unless that's what you want, or like you're into edging or whatever. But man, you would have to pause, I mean, multiple times to like recover, do a little stretching or whatever in between.
Yeah, I guess you guys you have to like trade off, right? Like one person does it for a little while, and then you do something to that person for a little while.
Yeah, but then your heart rate would go down, and I don't think you'd get the same calorie burn.
Maybe. I don't know, like HIIT, right? You do like 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off.
That's true. I think this links into your article pretty well because it's based on science that maybe is not actually science.
I was wanting to see how you were going to tie these two articles together.
Well, at one point it says like a study in the American Journal of Medicine says this, and then I clicked it and it was actually like a blog post on the American Journal website. Yeah. And it wasn't based on science. It's based on like stretch science. So that's the link to yours if you want to talk about yours now.
Definitely. And one of my favorite things is people taking scientific data and misusing it in crazy ways. Not just like about sex, but just about everything in general. Like I love when people manipulate research studies because like somebody like really dedicated time, effort into doing the scientific study, making sure it's like perfect and everything's thought out. And then some like
jabroni comes by.
Yeah, like just comes around and is like, oh, I'm just gonna like steal this one line and manipulate everything you've worked for.
Yeah.
So my study also has 2 of my other favorite things in it. Testicles and Chinese food, kind of. And so so I found out about this article because I was watching TikToks and there was like a TikTok thing where dudes were dipping their testicles into soy sauce to see if they could taste them. And I was like, what? Oh, why are they doing this? So I Googled it and I found a whole article about why boys or dudes are dipping their testicles into soy sauce. And it's because this one dude on TikTok, I think it was actually a girl on TikTok, saw this article back from 2013 about how your testicles have taste receptors in them. So she was like, hey, y'all, dip your testicles into soy sauce and see what you taste. And so people started doing it. And then TikToking their responses. And a lot of people were saying, I can taste the soy sauce through my testicles. And yeah, so I was like, oh, that's really surprising. Let's figure out what's going on. So first of all, yes, there are taste receptors in your testicles. I was surprised to hear that. But there's 2 major reasons why you can't taste anything through your testicles. One, they're taste receptors, not taste buds. Taste buds are like clumps of taste receptors, and that's like what's in our mouth and the back of our throat and things like that. Another reason, and the more important reason, is because our taste buds are connected to our, I wrote this down so I can remember it, gustatory cortex in our brain, which is our taste center. And so the taste buds, they send signals to our actual taste receptors in our brain. It's not like every nerve in our body just like sends signals to the brain and the brain figures it out. They're sending them to specific parts, right? Like your olfactory system, things like that. But yeah, some jabroni took this scientific study based on whether or not stimulating taste receptors in testicles of rats increase their reproductive, increase their sperm count. And so someone was like, hey, let's just see if we can taste things through our testicles. And another interesting thing, it does increase sperm count in rats. So stimulating taste sensors in rats' testicles did increase their sperm count.
So does that mean putting things on it or just like stimulating it? And
I don't know. I did not read the actual
study. Does that mean like
study.
Playing with somebody's testicles or like lots of ball action?
No, it would have to be like a flavor. It has to be like one of the 5 flavors that we taste, like umami, spicy, sweet, the other 2.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you know umami, but you don't know the other 2.
I mean, umami's one of my favorite flavors.
That's the hard one to get. Yeah. So people on TikTok are doing this?
Yes.
Is it a video of their balls being dipped in soy sauce, or is it like a neck up or a waist up?
It's usually like a response, like, yo guys, I just dipped my balls in soy sauce and I can taste it.
Why soy sauce? Why not ketchup?
I think because soy sauce is such a strong flavor. And umami was like cited as one of the things in the research article. And so soy sauce is like the easiest umami flavor to grab.
They should do truffle oil.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if I know what truffle oil tastes like.
It's like a really it's a more expensive bougie oil, but I think it's like the most earthy flavor. So I don't know. I also just don't think it's a good idea. You know, I don't like to tell people what to do with their bodies, but I have a rule of thumb of like not putting food things near your genitals.
Yeah.
Like your balls are hot, and it just like, what if it gets, you miss this? Not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not here to like yuck anybody's yum, but I'm not a huge, I love food, and I love sex, but I love them separately.
Yeah, you're not like George Costanza. Did you ever watch that Seinfeld?
Yeah, or that movie where Captain America wears a whipped cream bathing suit.
Not a Captain America movie.
No,
Okay.
It's like before Captain America.
Yeah, I guess I don't mean to say like don't put stuff on your genitals. I just personally think it's really risky because of the crevices and the opportunity for bacteria to grow.
Right?
Right?
Especially in a vagina, if you're putting like sugary stuff down there.
Yeah. Or like your testicles are so close to your butthole, which has like all that bacteria.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a recipe for infection. If you're not, and no offense, but like, oh, I bet you the people who are doing this on TikTok are probably not like really focused on like cleaning up every, it's got to be like immature boys, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like dudes like pouring soy sauce down their pants in a parking lot. Like these are not like very sterile conditions.
It's not like right before a shower at your home. Yeah. I did think it was funny that they said that if people did think they could taste it, it's probably just that they could smell it.
Yeah.
Because the smell is so like strong. So like these people are like, oh, I can definitely taste the soy sauce. And then it's like, no, your nose is like 3 feet away from the smell. That's what it is.
Yeah. One other thing I found really interesting about it too was that we have taste sensors all over our body. So it's not just our testicles and our mouth. They're in our lungs. And in our lungs, they've been shown to like detect bacterial infections and like inflammation. So like they do stuff, they're active. And like they're even in our spermatosis and stuff like that. So they're active, but they're not like tasting and like sending receptors to our brain. It's like they taste like bitterness from a bacteria and they're like, oh shoot, there's a bacterial infection. Let's fix that.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's not like, okay, so say your testicles could taste things. What is the benefit of tasting things with your testicles?
Yeah, I don't know. Why not just do it with your mouth? Funny. I mean, it's funny. Boys love their testicles. And so if I could like teabag and eat at the same time, like, I feel like the dudes would like that.
Yeah, I guess I just think testicles are weird and I have no interest. Like, I know you say you love them. I have zero interest in being near them or like engaging with them at all.
Yeah, I mean, so as a guy, like, I think all dudes like testicles, like at least their own. Not like in general, but I think like they find them funny, things like that. Like how many dudes do you know that they're like there was a game when I was in high school where like you would like pull your testicles out of your like pants and just sit there with your testicles out to see if anybody noticed. Or like when people were sleeping, you'd put your testicles on their eyeballs. Like,
yeah,
dudes love their testicles.
That's interesting. Is there any self-consciousness with different testicles?
Oh, sure.
There is, so like you can have an abnormal, like with penises, if you have an interesting penis, there's self-conscious. It exists with testicles?
Yeah, definitely. Like testicles sometimes get calcium deposits on them, and they're like these white bumps that kind of occur on the testicles. And some dudes that can be really subconscious about that. Some people, like if you're having sex with someone, somebody might think it's an STI, and it's not. It's just calcium. For some reason, you get calcium deposits on your testicles. Google it.
They just seem too sweaty and gross.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think
No offense.
Yeah, I mean, mine are probably often sweaty and gross, and I still enjoy them. They're part of me. And I think guys have just like a better connection to our genitals than women do. Like women, I feel like when I talk to like, especially high school students, they're always like grossed out by their vaginas. They're grossed out by their period. Boys are not like that. Boys love their genitals.
Yeah, that is true. Women are vagina owners are always like, you want me to put what and where when we talk about like the ring, and they're afraid of their vagina. You're right. Boys just like will touch their wieners.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like when I was going through puberty, I would get yelled at from my parents and my aunts about like having my hands in my pants. And like I would just walk around with my hands in my pants touching my wiener.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah. This is what boys do. My cousin, when he was a baby, my aunt took him to the hospital because he kept touching his penis, and she thought like maybe there was like an infection or something. Doctor's like, no, boys just there, they like to touch it. How it is.
I do think there's like a stereotype of like, you know, when people say like, oh, her vagina is gross or it smells or whatever. We never really talk about it, but like, you're telling me that like on a hot day after like a jog, your balls don't smell?
Oh yeah.
Right? But we never talk about like, oh, his balls smell. It's always like shaming a vagina for having a little odor, which is totally normal, some odor.
I always bring up the fact that balls smell whenever someone talks to me about like something smelling like fish. I'm like, yeah, bro, like your balls stink too. What, like, take a shower or use a baby wipe before you do anything, because nobody wants to smell that stank.
No, sometimes my belly button smells, and that just reminds me that your balls must smell worse.
Oh my God, belly button. No, belly buttons smell are probably the worst smelling part of anybody's body. Like, hands down, if you pick your belly button and smell your finger, oh my God, it is like disgusting.
Yeah, I actually noticed that the other day. I thought I had a yeast infection on my belly button because it smelled so bad, and then it turns out that occasionally it just happens.
Yeah, you can get like it could be yeast infection, but sometimes your belly button just gets like inflamed with bacteria, and your body fights it off. I have an outie belly button, or I used to have an outie belly button, and so sometimes mine would get like inflamed because I guess bacteria got into it easier because it was an outie.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I gained weight, and my outie belly button went away.
Oh, I would think that it was the opposite.
No, it's not like pregnancy, where like, you know, when you're pregnant, like your belly button pops out. When you're gaining like fatty tissue, it kind of like sucks up your belly button.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, this was fun.
Definitely very engaging.
Do you know, one of the things my article almost discouraged was masturbation. They were like, well, you don't really burn that many calories masturbating, which I would agree with, but I think you probably burn the same amount of calories. If you have a penis, you're burning way more calories masturbating than kissing.
Oh yeah. I mean, masturbating,
right? That's like
it's like a hand job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, no, that's not how it works. If you're masturbating with a penis, it's probably a workout.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really consider it a workout. But again, I don't want to like work very hard for any of that stuff. I just want to like.
Yeah. I guess I think comparatively a workout.
Yeah. But even like for women, like, I mean, I guess depending on how like a female is masturbating will depend.
Right. They're using a toy or using their hand.
Yeah. And even what kind of toy they're using, right? Are they like ending outing, or is it just like external vibration stimulation?
Yeah. I guess just at the end of the day, I think about how hard it is for me when I'm running to burn like 10 calories, and it makes me think like this is all bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back next Friday with new articles. Check out the articles. Liam will put them in the comments because he does all of our internet posting. And then if you have anything that you'd like us to talk about, you could recommend articles by also commenting.
Definitely. I love when people recommend stuff. Or if you have any questions about anything we talked about, or you just want to like, just post comments and we will respond to your comments.
Yes.
Either on Facebook or on our YouTube. So we love to engage.
Okay.
All right.
See you.
Okay, everybody. Oh, how do I stop this?